Here's how to register Democrats in Texas.
There are about 2 million Texans who are eligible to vote, but not yet registered, and likely to vote for Democrats. That's the good part. The bad part? Texas is a major voter suppression state. It is one of the few holdout states where there is no online voter registration, with just 2 exceptions. 1. If a Texas resident has to update their driver's license, they can now register to vote online at the Texas Department of Public Safety site. 2. If someone moves within the same county, they can update their existing voter registration online here. Sometime after December 2, 2021, any Texas resident who moves anywhere in the state and who has a Texas driver's license or state ID will be able to do this. In all other cases, the applicant must fill out and sign a paper form. They can either mail in that form or fill out the form in person with a volunteer deputy registrar who is trained and certified to help voters register. The VDR must then physically turn in that form to the county voter registrar. To become a VDR, you need to take a short course with the county in which you want to register voters. The course only takes about an hour, and it's offered online in some counties such as Harris, Bexar, or Travis counties, for example. To get details on the VDR process for your county, contact your county voter registrar. Find links, forms, and other useful information in our Texas Voter Drive in a Box at fieldteam6.org. Look under Resources. Once you become a VDR, your term lasts until December 31st of the even-numbered calendar year. That means if you become a VDR in 2021 or 2022, your certification is valid until December 31st, 2022, the even-numbered calendar year. You are only qualified to register voters who live in the county where you received your training. Want to register voters who live in another county? You must become a VDR in that county as well. But you can do that through a short 5-minute process. Contact the appropriate county voter registrar for details. Every county is legally required to offer reciprocity, which means you can show them your VDR certificate from one county and they'll allow you to just sign a form making you a VDR in the other county as well. The process varies a little, but other counties should not require you to do training again. If this is not your experience, call the Texas Democratic Party's voter hotline at 1-844-TX-VOTES or email them at voting@txdemocrats.org. They can help you navigate the process and get it corrected so others don't experience the same challenges. Making voter drives easier. Any group of volunteers needs only one person to be a registered VDR. The other volunteers can walk around talking to people and recruiting new voters. When they find someone who's interested in registering, they walk them over to the VDR, who helps them register on the spot. Legally, the VDR can and should shepherd the new voter through the form, but the applicant must fill out the form themselves. A VDR is not legally allowed to fill it out for them, and the VDR is the only person besides the applicant who can touch a voter registration form once a voter has started filling it out. Need to find a VDR to attend your voter drive? Contact a county Democratic Party chapter. They often have lists of VDRs who may be able to help. Fashion note: it's important to wear a liberal-looking t-shirt, hat, and/or pin. This provides a Republican-repelling force field that ensures we register the people we need most. Another good idea? Start your conversation with, "Can you help me save the world from Trumpism?" "Can I register you as a Democrat today?" Or something similar. If a conservative wants to register to vote, you must help them register as well. But don't worry, it's more likely conservatives will just avoid you. The rest of the video is for those who are thinking of becoming a VDR, so you know what to expect in your VDR training. The information here should be similar to your course, But if anything in the video differs from your VDR training, follow your training, not the video. And remember, until you've completed your training and have been certified by the county, do not help anyone register to vote. Let's begin by showing you how to fill out the voter registration form. Start by asking, are you a citizen? It's the first question on the form, and it's a potential deal breaker. If their citizenship is in question in any way, do not register them. It can derail the naturalization process, the last thing we want to do. If they are a citizen, have them check that box. Then, make sure the person is at least 17 years and 10 months old and will be at least 18 years old before Election Day, November 8, 2022. If both are true, have them check the box. If someone says they can't vote because they've been convicted of a felony, let them know if they've done their time and completed all terms of their sentence, including parole and/or probation. You can re-register them right now. Now that you know you can register them, have the applicant go to the very top of the form and check the appropriate box for the reason they're registering. New application, change of address, name, or other info, or request for a replacement card. Next, have them put down their last name, first name, middle name, exactly as it appears on their Texas driver's license or Texas state ID. Residence address must be a physical address in Texas, not a P.O. box. Always ask if there's an apartment number. Ask if that's where they get their mail, and if it is, they can skip mailing address. If someone's experiencing homelessness, have them write down the cross streets of where they usually stay. If they've moved from somewhere else in Texas since their last registration, they must write their city and county of former residence in Texas. Date of birth is mandatory. Gender is not, so they can skip it. Phone is optional, but treat it like it's mandatory because the county registrar will need that to contact the voter if there's a problem with the registration. Now, have them write down their driver's license and the last 4 digits of their Social Security. Get both if you can, because in Texas, the Secretary of State ruled that if both forms of ID are on the form and there are no other problems with the form, the registration will be accepted. Also, some county registrars have been throwing out applications that only have one form of ID. Of course, if one form of ID is all they got, complete the form anyway. But please, alert the voter to follow up with their county registrar in 2 to 4 weeks to make sure their registration went through. There's a 50% chance it won't. And if they don't have any form of ID, complete the form anyway and check the box below. But be absolutely clear with the voter that they must follow up in 2 to 4 weeks with the county registrar. They must give the registrar one or both forms of these IDs at that time, and they must confirm they are registered. Until it's confirmed, they should assume they're not registered. Almost there. Have them review the form for accuracy, then have them sign and date it. Under that, you'll put down your own deputy number and sign and date it yourself. Fill out the registration receipt, give the original receipt to the voter, but keep the form yourself. You or another VDR in your group will deliver the voter registration forms in person to the county registrar. Now, let them know they'll receive a voter registration certificate within 30 days, and if they don't, they should contact their county voter registrar. Also let them know that as soon as they get the card in the mail, if it's an election year, and if they are 65 or older or disabled, they can apply to vote by mail. Now that you've registered them, thank them for being a voter, and give them 1 to 3 sentences of basic education if you can. Tell them we've got to save our House majority in the November 8, 2022 midterms to save our democracy, and Texas could decide it all. We also need to unseat the toxic Republican governor, Greg Abbott. And in 2024, we can boot Senator Ted Cruz, too. Check your Texas brief in the Texas Voter Drive in a Box for the names of more Republicans we're fighting and Democrats we're defending. Repeat those names as much as you can. Name recognition is half the battle. You can also educate them on what Democrats stand for. Tell them the Democratic Party is the one major party fighting Trumpism and the Republicans. Tell them President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are the heads of the Democratic Party, and Trump was the head of the Republican Party. Tell them Democrats are the only major party fighting for civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigrant rights. Democrats sent out the $1,400 relief checks, and they're ending COVID and bringing back good jobs. Democrats are working to secure the electrical grid in Texas, address the climate crisis, expand health care, and make college more affordable. Before they go, ask if we can send them election reminders telling them when and where to vote. If yes, write their name and email on the sign-up sheet on your clipboard, and ask if they'd like to volunteer and help us register Democrats. Mark this answer on your sheet too. Also super helpful, ask if they'd like to be contacted by the local Democratic Party with helpful information about candidates as election time approaches. And if so, have some copies of this form printed out and fill in their info. Because we don't just register voters, we also let them know how to best use their vote. Now, congratulate them for becoming a voter and give them a sticker in return for saving the world. And by the way, give a sticker to anyone who wants one, since we're not legally allowed to restrict this to only people who register. After they've gone, one last step. You or another VDR in your group will deliver the voter registration forms in person to the county registrar, within 24 hours preferably, but no later than 5 p.m. on the 5th calendar day after you receive them. That's 5 calendar days, not business days. And remember, after an applicant starts to fill out a form, the only people who can handle that form are VDRs. Also, do not photocopy the registration form or note any information from the form itself, because these documents contain information that is confidential by law. Congratulations! You just added another Texas Democrat to the voter rolls, bringing us one step closer to victory. This is how we win. Got questions?
Find all the materials you need at our Voter Drive in a Box link at fieldteam6.org. Look under resources.